The story of the prodigal son is one of the most well-known parables in all of the Bible, and rightfully so. It's one of the great and moving stories from all of ancient literature. It's inspired painters and writers and led countless people into a new and deeper relationship with their Heavenly Father. It's worth your time too. The story goes, a man had two sons. The younger son told his father, "I want my share of your estate now before you die." So his father agreed to divide his wealth between his sons. Demanding his inheritance now was like wishing for his father's death. This son was far more than greedy. He showed absolutely no interest in his father or concern for the pain he was inflicting on his family. He took his money fled to pursue his own life, his own way, and at his father's expense. But eventually, that money ran out. Jesus explained, a great famine swept over the land, and he began to starve. He persuaded a local farmer to hire him, and the man sent him into the fields to feed the pigs. The young man became so hungry that even the pods he was feeding the pigs looked good to him. But no one gave him anything. For Jews who refrained from any association with pigs, this was rock bottom. Surely none of this was his plan when he set out from home with his pockets full of money. Now, he couldn't afford even to eat. So he devised a plan. At home, even the hired servants have food enough to spare, and here I am dying of hunger. I will go home to my father and say, "Father, I have sinned against both heaven and you, and I am no longer worthy of being called your son. Please take me on as a hired servant." Humiliated and desperate, he returned home. His plan was to work as a servant on his father's estate. What chance did he have to still be a son who had demanded his own way and wished his father dead? But while he was still a ways down the road, probably revising in his head just how he would pitch the plan, he recognized his father's figure running towards him. Jesus explained, filled with love and compassion, he ran to his son, embraced him, and kissed him. His son said to him, "Father, I have sinned against both heaven and you. I am no longer worthy of being called your son." It's easy to think of God as an unapproachable judge, looking down with condemnation on our failures and sins. But that's not how Jesus described his Father. Jesus chose this story of a father desperately watching and waiting for his son to come wandering home, even empty-handed. Jesus was aware of how difficult it can be to understand that kind of grace and mercy, a benevolent heavenly Father. You see, the story is actually about two brothers, one prodigal and another older brother who had stayed home and continued his work alongside his family. Jesus' parable didn't end with the prodigal coming home. It ended with this older brother returning from his day's work, frustrated at his reckless brother's welcoming. Frustrated and indignant, the brother refused to participate in this careless display of the Father's grace. The story closes with this older son stuck, refusing to come inside and celebrate, refusing to accept grace. I think Jesus understood that we can hear stories of God's grace showed upon others and find it difficult to accept that grace upon ourselves. While the self-righteous older brother refused to participate, the prodigal received what he never could have imagined. The love and generosity of his father shattered any request the prodigal might have previously worked up. All he could do was fall into his father's arms. His father threw a celebration. He butchered the prized beef and wrapped his son with royal family robe. "This son of mine was dead and has now returned to life. He was lost, but now he is found." So the party began. What do you make of God's grace? Is it too much? Too reckless? Does it ruin your plans and your expectations? Is it a threat to the work you've been doing? the responsibility you've shown? Or can you, like that prodigal, let go of your plan and receive the far better thing our Father is longing to offer you? Listen.